Lena KrupinA, and I miss real competitions and when I have time to follow them and discuss them with you. So today, our almost week-long trip to the World Championship begins. And I must say the first day stormed the news like in a week, but everything happened in just a couple of hours. And so today in the video we will talk about who won the first gold of the World Championship, why Boryana Kaleyn withdrawed, and what happened to Daria Atamanov. We will discuss all the news and try to answer many questions. And of course, I will tell you how the qualification and the final of the first day of the World Championship went. Well, for those who have not yet subscribed to the Telegram channel, now it is the time, because it is there that all the news from the competition appears probably. And also there is a chat where we discuss the World Championship in real time. So I look forward to seeing you there too. Well, let me remind you that YouTube in Russia is still not monetized, so it will be nice if you can support me using the links in the description. And for those who do not have the opportunity, then likes and comments support is no worse. Thanks in advance, and let's already head along to Bulgaria and figure out what crazy things happened there today. Wednesday, September 14th, the first day of the World Championship started. Initially, I thought that it would be sad and we would not see some of the groups. This has already happened, but fortunately Bulgaria understands that a lot of fans are sitting at the screens of phones and laptops and want to see the gymnastics. So the broadcast was still quite beautiful. According to some, it was slow at the beginning, but probably from the joy that this tournament is online, it didn't bother much. Well, at the same time, the Spartakiad was held in Russia. We'll talk about that in a separate video. Following the results of the qualification of the Spartakiad, the video is already out on the channel if you missed it. Today, the girls competed with hoop and ball and began the selection for the finals of individual all-around, where 18 best gymnasts will go. Also, the girls today passed the selection of the 8 best and competed for medals in the finals of the hoop and ball. Tomorrow, the selection in the all-around will end, and medals in clubs and ribbon will also be played. So after the first day in the all-around, Sofia is in the lead, and it was not possible to pass the routine cleanly, and there was many more nerves when she competed, because at that time there was still not information that the 2 main competitors for gold were removed from the World Championship. In general, I had a feeling that Sofia was quite nervous during the qualification. So in the hoop, she made a big loss with a run, but for the final, the score was still enough. The ball was performed in qualification without gross errors, and the result was both finals and first place after the first day. The second after the first day was Daria Atamanov, a German gymnast. Most recently, by the way, I published an article in Telegram about Dasha and her connection with Russia. In general, an interesting story. In short, Dasha was born in Russia, but her coach sent her to German coaches for a tryout, even when Dasha was competing in juniors. She liked it there, and so she moved to live in Germany at first alone, and later her parents joined her. The choice fell on Germany since Dasha has relatives in Germany on her mother's side, and Dasha's mother was a gymnast who also trained in Russia and Germany. Although she didn't achieve such success, her daughter was able to fall in love with gymnastics, and thanks to her mother and coach in Russia and Dasha's hard work, we now see such an incredible gymnast. According to the performance, the programs went well, the hoop was cleaner, and here, by the way, she changed her music, and in my opinion, it really suits the routine. There were small bolts in the ball, but in general, also without gross errors. As a result, Dasha also made it into both finals. Third was Dilyana Nikolova, a gymnast from Bulgaria. Unfortunately, not everything went smoothly. There were several travels from elements and a fall during the risk in the ball routine. Because of what, in fact, Dilyana could not get into the ball final. But with the hoop, she managed to perform much better, and as a result, from the first place to get into the final. As a matter of fact, such a trio of leaders in the all-around after the first day turned out. I think not everyone was expected to be seen here, but according to my feelings, everything is fair. Well, what about our main leaders? It all started very strange here. There was a live stream when Daria Atamanov was supposed to perform. Since Dasha is the absolute champion of Europe this year, Israel clearly had high hopes for her, and the curiosity of the fans if she could repeat her success in the world. But during the performance, Dasha did not come out. and the announcer said that Dasha would not perform due to an injury. Later information appeared that Dasha had a leg fracture. By the way, the coaches still did not comment on this moment, but confirmed the fact of the injury. Following Dasha, rumors spread about Boryana Kaleyn. Here too, the federation did not confirm the removal of Boryana for a long time. But then the president of the Federation of Bulgaria explained the situation in video format. And she said that yes, Boryana indeed did withdraw on the day of the tournament due to high fever and infection. The gymnast was hospitalized and the doctors insisted that she can't perform. The president of the federation was clearly dumbfounded by such news, as all the fans. As she says in an interview that just yesterday at the control training, Boryana trained well and passed the control training well. The funniest thing, but no longer related to the World Championship, at the Spartakiad on the same day, Arina Verna withdrew due to an injury. In the chat, someone joked about the retrograde Mercury and the lighting of the hall in Sofia. Perhaps there were really no icons of Irina Alexandrovna here. At the moment, the top 18 gymnasts who qualified for the individual all-around final look like this. There may be some changes here, but I think the basis will definitely not change. So we will surely see Milena Baldassarre in the qualification. She didn't manage to pass her programs cleanly, but without blunders. By the way, I looked at Milena and I remembered Alexandra Argigikulidze, who was nevertheless removed from the tournament. If Sasha were to train with Giulietta Cantalpi, would she still shine in Italy, or her career would also come to a naught? It's a pity to watch this, especially when you don't know why this is happening. Judging by her Instagram, Sasha is doing well, so it's not particularly clear what is wrong with her career and stability. Also, Margarita Kolosov is one of the competitors for medals. She has been a gymnast, confidently passing her programs at several starts. I was really glad to see Victoria Naprayenko. I really like Vika's leotard in qualification with the ball. Delicate white with an interesting neck. Vika is in good shape, but not everything went smoothly in both events. As a result, only one final. But I think Vika can also fight for medals, given that now the whole world supports Ukraine, and the support in the hall during her performance was very big, and it certainly helps the gymnast and gives them extra energy. Adi Asyakadze, an Israeli gymnast, even though she is 7th in the all-around, so far hasn't really moved the leaders. But in the absence of her main competitors, she can get together and climb much higher, and I think that she can also compete for medals. Ekaterina Videnieva, a Slovenian gymnast, takes 8th place after the first day. By the way, a curious moment is connected with Katya. Katya was the first gymnast who filed a protest against her score, which attracted attention. And here, interesting information came from a Bulgarian journalist who was just sitting in the protest zone. So in her blog, she wrote that protests were rejected due to the fact that the risks and difficulties of the apparatus that Katya performs were analyzed in the last presentation for the judges, and they were examples of what is not considered difficulty of the apparatus. As I understood it, this is exactly the same story as it was at Tokyo Olympics, when the international judge explained to us that certain skills are not considered at the international level, but the gymnasts of Russia and Israel did them anyway. So I will assume that Katya makes some risks or difficulties of the apparatus in her routine, which are not considered at the international field. And from this, she counts on higher scores, but in fact, gets lower ones. Well, in general, I think from our experience, we know that the scores at World Championships are always much lower than at other competitions, and the qualification scores always differ from the finals of individual events. So today, for those who constantly follow gymnastics, there should not have been any surprises here. While I still can't help but remember the scandals that took place before the World Championship, so the loudest scandal was the removal of Elizaveta Polstanaya from the Latvian national team for her Russian roots. Instead of her, other gymnasts took part in the tournaments, and in places it is, of course, very far from Lisa's ranks. So Santa Stepulane, after the first day, I hope I pronounced that surname right, takes 58th place, and Nikola Vasilyeva takes 66th place. I think Lisa would be in the top 10. Well, the same story with the Armenian gymnast has not ended well. Mary Pagosyan takes the 77th place after the first day. For those who missed the story, Silvia Saksyan, the leader of the Armenian team, which won all domestic tournaments, was not sent to the World Championship. The federation decided to give another gymnast a chance, and given that Mary Pagosyan is coached by the current head coach of Armenia, with this information here, there should be less questions. But the question is whether the results of the main tournament of the year are that important. In fact, the best gymnasts are merged for some reason, and so questions really arise. Is the World Championship so important, or do they just come here to show those who they want, and not compare the best of the best? In general, for me, it is real sadness. Well, about the finals, where the first medals were played. So, Sofia Raffaelli became the first winner in history of the World Championships from Italy in the individual program, writing herself into the history. They say the truth is that the circumstances of this victory will be forgotten, but the title will remain. And the fact that there is no Russian competitors, and some competitors withdraw one after another. But for me, even with such circumstances, these medals are real. As our coaches told us, this is already a victory if you have reached the tournament, while others have not. Therefore, I'm sincerely happy for Sofia, and I hope these are not the last medals for her. I think you already know that I like Sofia, and today I probably even understood why. For the incredible purity in the subject and the smooth transitions from one movement to another. And of course her performances seem not typical, which gives me goosebumps. And if you watch the video about adjustity, if a gymnast gives you goosebumps, then she can be given a high score. Styliana Nikolova from Bulgaria won the silver medal for her country. Everything was prepared in such a way that Styliana would win the gold medal. The fact that she was in her home walls, that she was first in qualification, and that she was the last to perform in the final, but in fact she didn't have enough difficulty and ended up only second with Sofia's pure performance. Well, according to Styliana, she scored less than in qualification. Apparently, she did not perform some elements. I will not go to the wilds and sort out what happened, but in fact, she has a silver medal of the final with hoop. And this is a very good result for the debutant of the World Championship. Daria Atamanov may have won bronze in the hoop final, incredibly high score and good performance. There was a feeling that the removal of Boryana and Daria Atamanov, the judges stopped sticking to the scores and became more generous. Well, Dasha showed an excellent performance. I think this season she clearly proved herself among the judges. Adia Sekats became the fourth after the removal of Dasha Atamanov. Asia became the only Israeli hope for a medal. I'm sure they are expected from her. The execution is good, but so far without a pedestal. By the way, for those who will ask why Boryana and Dasha were not replaced, the federation had the right to change a gymnast 24 hours before the tournament, and both problems happened on the day of the tournament, which means that the deadline for replacement has been missed, and that, by the way, the saddest thing is not Israel, not Bulgaria, no longer compete for team medals. Margarita Kolosov lost only 1/10. Rita had to wait 10 hours to perform this routine again. She opened the tournament and performed the final in the evening. I'm sure it is not easy, but Rita managed to go through the program well. Zokra Kamirova did not quite cope with the program and looked clearly upset. Evita Griskinas was not completely clear in her program, but without big losses. As a result, only 7th place. And the top 8 was closed by Milena Baldassari. Unfortunately, she had some troubles with her hoop, and as a result, no medal here. Sofia Raffaelli won the final with the ball again. She did a great job closing the stream and proved that her instability can be controlled. But I hope not to jinx it. This is just the beginning. But already 2 of the 2 medals are in her pockets for this young competitor from Italy. The real intrigue in the ball was created by Daria Atamanov, who was able to score 34 and 1/10 for the routine, which was a clear bid for a gold medal. The bronze medal was won by Lena. She had a good performance with the ball and a good score. As a result, a medal. Victoria Priyanka took 4th place. According to her score, the gap from the podium was large, but in terms of performance, it was not too bad. But she had some mistakes. I missed the white leotard from the qualification. Spanish gymnast Alba Batusta finished 5th. Rumors have it that the Spanish were in the finals only in 2014, so this is already a cool result for her. Ekaterina Videneva from Slovenia took 6th place with a very good routine, but received a deduction for finishing after the music. Obviously, she was very unhappy with the result. Adia Tekats became the 7th. Unfortunately, here were mistakes, and Andrea Verdes from Romania closed the top 8. It's a good result for her to be in the final. I look forward to hearing from you in the comments. How was your first day? Who you remember, who you like, and your thoughts about the winners and prize winners. I know that many people are discussing that without leaders, these medals are not medals. As I already said, I do not agree with this, but I want you to know your opinion. Well, remember that I love you all very much, and bye-bye.